श्रीमते शंकरार्याय धीमते अद्भुतशक्तये नमोस्तत्त्वैत सिद्धान्त स्थापनोपात्तमूर्तये श्रीहरिं परमानन्दम् उपदेष्टारमीश्वरं व्यापकं सर्वलोकानां कारणं तं नमाम्यहम् अपरोक्षानुभूतिर्वै प्रोच्यते मोक्षसिद्धये सद्भिरेव प्रयत्नेन वीक्षणीया मुहुर्मुहुः 71st shloka.
घटत्वेन यथा पृथ्वी पटत्वेनैव तन्तवः विनिर्णीता विमूढेन देहत्वेन तथात्मना घटत्वेन as pot yatha just as prithvi mud patatvena as cloth eva alone tantavaha threads vinirnita understood vimudhena by the ignorant dehatvena as the body tatha so too atmata oneself.
So the long list of examples for mistaking, that is for Brahma, that is error, is being given here. The special feature of this list is both the commonly understood error like rope snake, shell silver, etc. that is also given. Along with that, that not very commonly seen as error, like for example the clay and pot. So that kind of example also is given here because from the standpoint of view of the ultimate reality, the cause-effect relationship also is not real. It's not absolute. So here also, when we make the statements like this is the cause, this is the effect, and all that, upon further inquiry from this Vedanta standpoint of view, we come to the conclusion that there is no real two things as cause and effect. The cause alone is spoken of as effect. So the effect as it is without different from the cause does not have an existence at all. So what is true in an effect is only the material cause. So the cause alone has got a superior reality. So from that point of view, these statements are being given here. So in the same way, the Atman is taken to be the body wrongly. So for that Vedantic truth, so many examples are given here. So in the previous shloka 78th, last week we saw Sarpatvena yatha Rajatatvena Shuktika. So that the most common rope snake and shell silver example was given. Vinirnita vimudhena dehatvena tatha atmata. So vinirnita. So in the case of the Rajasarpa, Shukti Rajata and all that, there is no doubt for the person who is in error. He doesn't doubt whether it is silver or something else. No, he is very, very clear that it is silver only. By seeing the shell, actually, he is concluded that it is silver. So in the same way, in the case of the Atman also, we don't have any doubt whether that Atman is body or not or anything like that. It's clearly the Atman is taken to be the body, and with that clear and firm understanding only, we have been continuing from birth after birth, in countless births. That is why in the Upadesha Sahasri, Bhagavad-pada says, Dehatma Jnanavat Jnanam, Dehatma Jnana Badakam, Atmanyeva Bhaved Yasya, Sa Nechan Navi Muchati. So what he says is, in the case of the taking the Atman to be the body, it is so very firm, it is so very deep-rooted, there is no doubt at all about it. So in the same way, if a person were to get the knowledge, get the realization that the Atman is my real self, the Atman is my true self, which will definitely dispel the ignorant thinking that the body is myself. So if that kind of a realization comes to a person so very firmly, just as the body idea is so very firm, in the same way, the Atman idea, if it were to be realized in such a firm way, even if the person doesn't desire for liberation, he is liberated. So that is the way in which that shloka is framed. So here in this shloka 71, Ghatatvena yatha prithvi patatvena iva tantavaha. So Ghata is the pot, Prithvi is the cause, that is the clay. So the clay is wrongly seen and being transacted as pot, saucer, etc., etc. So in the same way, in the case of the cloth also, there is actually the thread, that is the cause of the cloth, is wrongly seen as the cloth. So in the same way, the Atman is seen wrongly to be the body. So that is the meaning of this shloka. So next page, when the 8th shloka was very 76 tanka.
76, Kanakam kundalatvena tarangatvena vaijalam vinirnita vimudhena dehatvena yatha mata naratvena yatha sthanul jalatvena marichika vinirnita vimudhena dehatvena tathatmata grihatvenaiva kashtani khadgatvenaiva lohata vinirnita vimudhena dehatvena tathatmata yata vrukshad viparyaso jalad bhavati kasyachit tadvadatmani dehatvam pashyatya jnana yogata putena gacchata pumsah sarvam bhativa chanchalam tadvat atmani dehatvam pashyatya jnana yogatah.
Meaning would be logical.
Kanakam, gold, kundalatvena, as an earring, tarangatvena, as waves, why, verily, jalam, water, vinirnita, considered, vimudhena, by the ignorant, dehatvena, as the body, tatha, so too, atmata, oneself.
I love the meaning of the
Next to meaning ಓದ್ಬೋದಾ? ಓದ್ಲಾ? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಪುರುಷತ್ವೇನ, for a person, why, verily, sthanuhu, post, jalatvena, as mirage, water, marichika, sand of the desert, vinirnita, considered, vimodhena, by the ignorant, dehatvena, as the body, tatha, so too, atmata, oneself. Grihatvena, as a house, eva, only, kasthani, heap of timber, sanga, khadgatvena, as a sword, evam, alone, lohata, a piece of steel, vinirnita, understood, vimudhena, by the ignorant, dehatvena, as the body, tatha, so too, atmata, oneself. Yatha, just as, vriksha viparyasaha, the inverted image of the trees, jalat, from water, bhavati, form, he sees, kasyachit, for some, tadvat, so also, atmani, in the self, dehatvam, the idea of body, pashyati, sees, ajnana yogata, due to ignorance. Patena, potena, by boat, gacchataha, traveling, pumsaha, to a man, sarvam, everything, bhati, appears, iva, like, chanchalam, in motion, tadvat, so too, atmani, in the self, dehatvam, bodyhood, as the body, pashyati, sees or perceives, ajnana yogataha, on account of ignorance.
So here also another set of examples are given for the idea that it's an error. Kanakam kundalatvena tarangatvena vai jalam. Kanakam is the gold, is seen as earring, chain, bangle, etc., etc. Then water alone is being spoken of as a wave. So actually we give the name wave to it, and also we see a shape for the wave. But then in a moment's time, the wave would have merged with the water. So it rises in a moment and it stays not even for a moment, and then it falls in water only. So water is the source for this wave, and water alone is appearing as the wave, but still we give the name wave to it, and so we have a lot of thrill also in seeing the wave, experiencing it and all that. So Kanakam Kundalatvena, Tarangatvena vai Jalam. So these are all our commonplace examples. So through that, the Vedanta is teaching us that here also there is an error involved. So in the same way, the body error also is there. So Kanakam Kundalatvena, Tarangatvena vai Jalam, Nirnita Vimudhena, Dehatvena Tatha Atmata. So the self is determined to be the body. The same way, gold is seen wrongly as the ornaments, and water is wrongly transacted or spoken of as the wave. Purushatve yatha sthanuhu jalatvena marichika vinirnita vimudhena dehatvena tatha atmata. So here also, here this case is a real popular error. Purushatve yatha sthanuhu. Sthanu is the post or the pillar in a distant place. From here he is wrongly seeing it as a person standing, a man standing there. So there is an error here. Jalatvena marichika. So marichika is the desert sand. From a distance, it appears to be a water body because of the mirage phenomenon. So there is an error clearly. In the same way, the Atman is seen to be the body mind complex. Then Grihatvena Kashtani Khadgatvena iva Lohata. So here is an interesting example. Kashtam is actually timber or bamboos and all that. So with that, a house is made. So the pillars are there. The roofing also is this wood alone. The flooring also will be wood. So the doors and windows, everything will be wood only. So in that case, what happens is it is called a house. But then if somebody questions where is the house, a person will show the timber alone. So this is a very interesting problem here. A person, for example, a teacher shows a candle and calls it a candle. But then if somebody in the class, he asks, where is the candle there? So when the question is taken a little forward, what will be realized there actually is, she is holding, actually wax alone she is holding, which is molded in a particular shape, and there is a wick inside that. But then the name candle is given. But then none of the parts that is there in the candle is called a candle really. So it's only wax there. So in the same way, everywhere, say for example, a cycle also, it is only only an assembly of so many parts. None of the parts is called the cycle. So in the same way, everywhere it is the same thing. Grihatvena iva kashtani. So kashtam is actually the various shapes and sizes of wood that has gone into making that house. So all the parts of the house is simply wood only, but still the name house is given there. So actually, when we inquire, there is no real house there. It's all real timber alone. So that's an example here. Then Kadgatvena iva lohata. So metal or steel alone is being transacted as a sword or knife or whatever. Vinirnita vimudhena dehatvena iva tatha atmata. So when we consider the body, when we try to examine the body, what the body is, from the standpoint of the Shastram, it is only the Atman alone which is wrongly transacted to be the body. So everything in the body is only the Atman that is appearing to be the body, wrongly taken to be the body. Yatha vriksha viparyaso jalat bhavati kasichite tadvad atmani dehatvam pashyat yajnana yogataha. So here there is a very interesting phenomenon. Vriksha viparyasaha, that is, in water, a plant or a tree which is there close to the shore of the water body or a lake, when we see the lake, we see the tree in an inverted way. But then actually the tree is not inverted really. Only the reflection of the tree is seen invertedly. But then someone who is seeing the water for a long time, he might get the feeling that there is an inverted tree here. So that kind of an error is possible. But then whatever, even if that's not taken to be an error, still the appearance of the tree in an inverted fashion is something which is not real from the true standpoint point of view of the tree. So from the actual tree. So yatha vriksha viparyasaha jalat bhavati kasachite. So the water is the one which is where the vriksha viparyasaha, that the tree is wrongly seen to be in an inverted fashion. Tadvad atmani dehatvam pashyati ajnana yogataha. Because of ignorance, a person takes the body to be the Atman. Potena gacchataha pumsaha sarvam bhativa chanchalam. So a person who is traveling by a boat, for him, what all things are there, the mountain, the trees, and all that on the shore of the river, that appears to be moving. So this example we can easily relate to while traveling in a train also. So when we are in the station, when the train is in the station, it is a station for a few minutes, then when it's just starting, there is a feeling that the platform and everything is there moving. So that kind of an illusion happens. Everybody would experience that. So that is taken here for this shloka. And what is shown is that the Atman actually doesn't have any movement or anything like that. But then the body is the one which is moving and all that. But then the feeling that wrongly seeing the body to be the Atman, a person feels that oneself is moving and all that. So, potena gacchataha pumsaha sarvam bhati-iva chanchalam. Sarvam chanchalam iva bhati. So that's the way we have to do the anvaya for this shloka. Tadvat atmani dehatvam pashyati ajnana yogataha. Then next to the on the 70-80 tanta odhirena. Pitatvam.
Pitatvam hi yatha shubhre doshad bhavati kasyachit tadvad atmani dehatvam pasyatyajnana yogataha. Pitatvam, yellowness, he indeed, yatha, just as, shubhre, in white objects, doshat, due to defect, bhati is, kasyachit, for a person, tadvat, so too, atmani, in the self, dehatvam, bodyhood, as the body, pashyati, sees or perceives, ajnana yogataha, on account of ignorance. Chakshurabhyam brahmashilabhyam sarvam bhati paramatmakam tadvat atmani dehatvam pasyatyajnana yogataha. Chakshurabhyam brahmashilabhyam, to a person with defective eyes, sarvam, everything, bhati, appears, brahmatmakam, defective, tadvat, so too, atmani, in the self, dehatvam, bodyhood, as the body, pashyati, sees or perceives, ajnana yogataha, on account of ignorance. Alatam brahmanenaiva vartulam bhati suryavat tadvadatmani dehatvam pasyatyajnana yogataha. Alatam, a firebrand, brahmanena, on being rotated, eva, alone, vartulam, circular, bhati, appears, suryavat, like the sun, tadvat, so too, atmani, in the self, dehatvam, bodyhood of, as the body, pashyati, sees or perceives, ajnana yogataha, on account of ignorance. Mahatve sarvavastunam anutvam hyati dhurataha tadvadatmani dehatvam pasyatyajnana yogataha. Mahatve sarvavastunam, all things of large dimension and magnitude, anutvam, as very small and insignificant, he, verily, ati dhurataha, due to great distances, tadvat, so too, atmani, in the self, dehatvam, bodyhood, as the body, pashyati, sees or perceives, ajnana yogataha, on account of ignorance.
So in all these cases, the fundamental thesis of avidya, that is the of adhyasa, that is the characteristic of adhyasa, is being brought out, which has been stated in the bhashyam, that is the adhyasa bhashyam. Adhyaso nama atasmis tad buddhihi. So Shankaracharya said in the Brahma Sutra bhashya beginning, that is the adhyasa bhashya, adhyaso nama atasmis tad buddhihi. That is, atat means something which is not, that is, y is wrongly seen as x. So y is not x really, but then y is seen as x. So that is the adhyasa. Atas means tad buddhihi. Tasmin tat buddhihi. So what is not a snake is wrongly seen as a snake. So in the same way, that is a fundamental thesis in all these cases. Pitatvam hi yatha shubhre. Shubhra is, his common example is in the Shastra is Shanka, Pita Shankaha. So actually, Shanka is actually white alone, pure white. But then a person who is jaundiced because of his defect in this eye, he will see the Shanka, that is a sconch, to be yellow in color. So everything that is white in color, white really will be seen by him as yellow. It will appear to him as yellow because of the defect in the eye. He also knows that the conch is not yellow really, but then this it appears to him as yellow. So this same kind of example Bhagavad gives in the Adhyasa Bhasha itself. Ekaschandraha sadvitiyavate. So the person knows that there is only one moon, but then because of a defect in his eye, he sees two moons. So that example also is given as something which conveys this one appearing as something else. So here also the same thing. Pitatvam hi yatha shubhre. Shubhra is white, which is pure white. That is seen as yellow. So that yellowness in what is white actually, doshat bhavati kasachit. For a person, because of some defect, it appears to be yellow. Sadvat atmani dehatvam pashyati ajnana yogataha. So in the same way, the Atman is seen to be the body because of the intervention of the ajnanam or ignorance. Then chakshurabhyam brahmashilabhyam sarvam bhati brahmatmakam. So here, brahmashila is the eye which is turning. See, actually, we have seen some children also playing some game where they rotate in a very fast way. That is, one boy or one girl will hold the hands of another boy or other girl, and then they rotate in a very fast way. Then what happens is everything surrounding them appears to be rotating. So all of us would have experienced that. So that is what is spoken of in this shloka. Chakshurabhyam brahmashilabhyam sarvam bhati brahmatmakam. So Brahma is actually not error here. It is actually rotating. So Brahmana. So brahmashilabhyam chakshurabhyam sarvam brahmatmakam bhati. So everything appears to be rotating. Tadvat atmani dehatvam pashyat ajnana yogataha. So after rotating or doing that movement in a very fast way for some time, and when they stop, and even after they stop, the surroundings will appear to be rotating. So that is also one part of that phenomenon. So that is also to be taken here. Whereas actually everything is static only, but only because of this person's movement, the eye would have undergone some kind of transformation, or it's not actually transformation, but then some effect in the eye. Of course, so many things like the nervous system, everything will have to have a factor, it will be a factors there, but then things appear to be different. So that point is brought out here. Tadad atmani dehatvam pashyati ajnana yogataha. Then alatam brahmanenaiva vartulam bhati suryavat. So this example is the famous, the whole chapter in the Mandukya Karika, fourth chapter, containing about 100 shlokas or so, is given the name Alata Shanti Prakaranam. So there this example is given. Of course, this Alata example is given in the Bhagavatam also in the Uddhav Gita. So Alatam brahmanenaiva vartulam bhati suryavate. So for this, we are all familiar with that in Deepavali time, in the Sursubhati that is there. So we would have all played that in our younger days. So Alatam is actually a firebrand. So when it is rotated in whatever shape we rotate it, for a person who is seeing from a distance, that only the fire alone will be taking those forms, but then the hand and all that will not be visible very clearly for a person in a distance. So in this, here it is seen to be a Surya or a sun. So Alatam brahmanenaiva vartulam bhati. Vartulam is circular. In circular movement is done in a very fast way. For a person in a distance, it will appear to be sun. So Suryavate, Tadvad Atmani Dehatvam Pashyati Ajnana Yogataha. So all these examples have been conceived of from the real life situations and all that by our earlier acharyas, and they are all documented here. Mahatve Sarvavastunam Anutvam Hi Atidurataha Tadvad Atmani Dehatvam Pashyati Ajnana Yogataha. So this seeing something something which is really very big, but then it is seen to be very, very small. The classic example is the sun and the moon. They appear to be not very, very large bodies for us, but then we know from science that it's extremely large body. And things like for a person who is seeing a mountain from a distance, the trees on the mountain, even though they are all very, very large ones, they will all look like very, very small grass growing on the tree, on the mountain. So this is also a classic example, and this example is finding place in the Advaita Siddhi also, by Madhusudana Saraswati. This also this phenomenon of error also is spoken of there, discussed there. So Mahatve Sarvabhu Vastunam Anutvam hi Atidurataha. Mahatvam is actually the objects are very, very big, very large, but then for a person who is viewing them from a very long distance, those very large objects appear to be very, very small. So here also there's actually no error is there. Maybe small children might get that error, but then grown-up people will not see it as an error. They will only see it as this kind of a phenomenon. That's all. They know that those objects are very real, and only because of the distance from which they are viewing it, the things are appearing to be small. So, this also falls under the category of Chandra-Dvitvam. So that same example here also, same phenomenon here also. Mahatve Sarvavastunam Anutvam hi Atidurataha. Anu is very, very small. Atidurataha because of long distance. Tadvid Atmani Dehatvam Pashyati Jnana Yogataha. It moves like 83 convertible. Sukshmatve Sarvabhavanam.
Odla. Okay. Sukshmatve Sarvabhavanam Sthulatvam Chopanetrataha Tadvadatmani Dehatvam Pashyatya Jnana Yogataha. Sukshmatve Sarvavastunam, of objects which are tiny, Sthulatvam, being enlarged and magnified, Cha and Upanetrataha, through lens, Tadvat, so too, Atmani, in the self, Dehatvam, bodyhood as the body, Pashyati, sees or perceives, Ajnana Yogataha, on account of ignorance.
Okay.
Next Odla.
So here, this shloka, Sukshmatve Sarvabhavanam, it is the opposite of the what was discussed in the previous shloka, 80th shloka. So here, in the previous shloka, large objects are seen to be very small, viewed from a distance. And here, really very small things objects are seen to be magnified in a very large size through the upadhi of a microscope or whatever instrument we are using. So Sukshmatve Sarvabhavanam, the objects are really very, very small, microscopic organisms they are. So Sthulatvam cha Upanetrataha. So when they are viewed through this special instrument called the microscope, then they are seen to be very, very large, because that is the purpose of this microscope, to really study those objects and see how they are. So that is why such instruments are developed. So Sukshmatve Sarvabhavanam Sthulatvam cha Upanetrataha Tadvadatmani Dehatvam Pashyati Ajnana Yogataha. So in the same way, what is the true state of affairs is shown in a different way through because of the intervention of some instrument. So in the same way here, because of the intervention of this Ajnanam, the Atman is shown to be, or seen to be, or understood to be the body-mind complex. Okay, so we can take up the next shloka, that is 82 onwards. In the next class, we will end this session here. Shri Harim Paramanandam Upadeshtaram Ishwaram Vyapakam Sarvalokanam Karanantam Namamyaham Aparokṣānubhūti Prochyate Moksha Siddhaye Sadhireva Prayatnena Vikshaniya Muhurmuhu Shastram Shariram Mamsa Devastu Parameshwaraha Acharya Shankaracharya Santume Janmajanmani Vidyavinaya Sampannam Vitaragam Vivekinam Vande Vedanta Tattvajnam Vitushekara Bharati Om Tat Sat.